Here comes the entire TP back from, Blink initiation from Ohio, but he has to force back.
Didn't quite have it. Mushi now, he's got a Necro 3. I mean, this is a stage of the game where Doom is very scary in the fight. Orange, they'd love to keep on forcing them. There's no Aegis on Tong Fu. The next Roche, Tong Fu will have the edge there because of their superior split push, but can they force those fights? It's going to be tough.
Yeah, I mean, I think this game is looking really poorly for Orange Esports because you have the defensive team Tong Fu, who has clearly better late game, just by standard play. They're actually aggressively ganking with things like Sakuchi Lift, with things like your Dragon Knight, who is Shadow Blade game for a stun. It's very tough to play against that playstyle if you are the one that's aggressively looking for kills. Because if you're roaming into enemy jungle and suddenly you see an Invis DK coming out, it's tough.
Oh, they know hows at the Ancients. Their jungle's empty, but they're not going to catch him in time. His illusion scouting out through the river. He's actually using one to pull the wave.
Baited.
Instead, they found an illusion. Mu has pulled a fast one on Orange, sends it into the river, and they fully take the bait. Lasso down. Tong Fu will simply back off.
Yeah, and of course that tier 1 tower as a result would survive quite a bit. These birds are going to get killed. I mean, that's just great carry play by Hao. Scouting with illusions and making it look like he's roaming through the river. Orange, they just got a little bit too jumpy there. Well, they're going to still try to siege this tower without Flaming Lasso. I really don't think you can do it without waiting for 40 seconds, basically. But here comes Tong Fu. They're saying, you don't have your ults. Let's play a little bit aggressive. Let's see if we can find something.
Yeah, I think Orange is somewhat reliant on the element of surprise as well. Because Tong Fu have a Darkseer, and I look at Orange, and I don't really see a single great AoE hero on their team. So to me, Orange needs to get the jump. They don't have one right now. We do see Hao scouting out behind where the tier 1 tower once stood. Now I'll clear out the wave, and Tong Fu will look to push in the bottom lane. 28 minutes in, score 10-10. Tong Fu leading, and now getting aggressive, farming the enemy jungle, really limiting what Orange can get off the map. Orange want to engage. Is there a gem? There's not. Blinking towards the anti-mage. The trap has been sprung, perhaps. KYXY. Sakuchi up. Extinct. Hunting. Will they engage? Not just yet. Mu, Blink, Lasso. They've caught the Dragon Knight. Impale on 2. Carapace as well. King Jae's been doomed. On the run, but Mushi's down. Can Tong Fu stand strong? Grip on King Jae. He'll take a spill. Banana as well. 2 for 1. But can they deal with the anti-mage? That's the question. Hunting. Hao has found 3. And Tong Fu getting the best of Orange here. Are not done yet. Blinking and slamming. Here he goes. KYXY held in place. Dragon Tail. No, he gets out. But will he live, Lumi? It's looking dire.
Soul Assumption's going to come through, and Lincoln Spirit blocks it. He still got Sakuchi 1 second, but the Manta style from Hao.
Brilliant carry play.
Oh my goodness.
The natural reaction is just to blink and right-click him, but with the Manta there was no Sakuchi in time. Tong Fu with a huge victory, now leading 14-12, backs against the wall. Their tournament lives at stake. Well, they've done it, Lumi. They've taken a huge fight. Roshan number 2, not too far off. It's starting to feel like the chokehold is in. Orange are running out of options.
Yeah, they definitely are. Again, good team fight for Orange Esports. The way they started, you Lasso the Dragon. That was a 3-man impale by our Nyx Assassin player. You even doomed the Darkseer, so he was useless in that team fight. But Tong Fu picked up way too much item. In fact, if you look at the Darkseer, he's picked up a BKB, which I think perhaps is maybe not the best item choice in this case.
I kind of like it because it means.
I mean, if you get doomed, which is.
Yeah, there is Doom, there is Fiend's Grip, there's Lasso, but at the same time, there's also Impale, there's also the Sleep. And if he BKBs and just runs it and they have to blow those spells on him, they're not using them on anyone else, and then your anti-mage runs rampant.
Yeah, he is by far the high priority target, regardless.
And if he goes for a Lincoln Sphere next, then he's looking very hard to kill.
Mood's gonna, actually, he has no mana to get away. What a stomp from his Centaur. Let's see if he can make it away from here. He does.
That is his. That's not a neutral, guys. That's his Centaur. Great micro from Mu, the solo mid. Now Hao looking for another kill. Ohio on the run. He's got a 4-staff and a gem. He cannot die here. He'll TP away to safety. But Tong Fu you can see their heroes are much better equipped to fight. Orange, they send 3 in and they have to run from just Hao.
I mean, I don't think they could deal with Hao at this point here. He's got 4K go, despite going for Vlad's second, which is definitely not an insane farming item like Yasha is. So once he picks up like a BKB or Heart, whatever he wants, he is going to be such a fearsome force in the front line. Or he could just rather pick up Aegis. That's a pretty good item, I heard.
Yeah, and the nice thing about the BKB for King Jae as well, which just occurred to me, is it protects you against Carapace, because you have a lot of AoE.
Definitely, yeah.
So I think just for that, it's a decent pickup here. Tong Fu, grouped up near the Roshan pit. Roche is coming soon, and they just have such a positional advantage for taking this Roche, because they have the better split push. The lanes are pushing against Orange. Hao can go in and solo Roche while the rest of the team sits back, and Orange will be forced into a fight. But Tong Fu, they'll want to get a kill here first. They're smoked up, and they're heading through the river. Orange Esports very well could be caught completely off guard.
We'll see if it works. Generally, smoking during Nightfall into the enemy jungle when you don't have too much vision, like when you don't have a Beastmaster Hawk or anything like that, it's tough to find kills, but well, I guess when you have Shadow Blade and Surge, maybe not. They don't find anybody though.
Roche up in 1 minute. They've cleared the enemy jungle. They're going to plot a course through the upper ramp. No, they're not going to take it. Hao leading the way. Will he go in? He will? No, the Necronomicon Warriors scouting him out now.
Oh, it gets converted here. That's one of the things that's why we don't see Necrobook as much in the professional game, because it's very easy for Mu just to pick up a helm and says, thank you for spending 5k gold on an item, and I'll take half of it.
Here we go.
Very much.
Here we go. It's time to fight for Orange. Ohio, Firefly up, looking to leap. Who's he going to go on? He's not jumping yet. Someone can catch him here. He's got to go soon. He gets dragon-tailed as he gets 4-stepped away. Now Mu, gripped up, held in position, but in the middle of the fight, there's a vacuum. There's a wall as well. KYXY trying to duke it out. Can they kill the Dragon Knight? They do. Doom was stolen. It goes the other way. But Nana, what a player. What a hero. Net on the run, trying to live. He'll sleep the anti-mage. He keeps on running, but there's a lift. There's a lift. Banana, Net's gonna live, maybe not. How? There's your Mana Boy, dunks him. 2-1. They do lose their DK, but totally worth it for Tong Fu. And now the way lies open to the next Roche. There will be no way for Orange to fight this.
Okay, I just want to say that entire team fight, Hao was doomed, and he did not run. He just was like, all right, I'm doomed. I'm gonna right-click you regardless. And I think that's just a horrible sign for Orange. If the enemy carry is Doom and he's just taking man fights against you, what do? There's just no real way to actually deal with this. Your Fiend's Grip is not reliable because there's things like Vacuum. There's a whole bunch of ways for the enemy team to cancel it. And your Flaming Lasso, you could actually stun him for 2.5 seconds, but he's not going to die during that duration either. I think Orange, unless they do something absolutely amazing or crazy, there's just no way.
They do get some more physical damage on the Weaver, but yeah, it's just a totally different level of item progression for Tong Fu. Hao's not going for a heart. He's not going for the mid-tier items. He's going for the big ones. And the other thing is, I mean, they got off a full duration Fiend's Grip. They got, like, the perfect lockdown on Dragon Knight. And they only killed Dragon Knight. They didn't scratch the anti-mage. The Darkseer was free to do his thing in the middle of the fight. And then Doom was stolen by Banana. He's been making big plays this game. Fantastic support work. And now we're going to see a blink into the pit right past the Batrider. Lasso's there, but Hao, right. Will he be an easy kill? They've got no Doom. They impale him, but the Familiars stunning through. The support play, will it be enough? Gripped! Backed into the wall! The anti-mage gonna live! Hao is unkillable! And now Mu comes in. Say hello to the dragon. He's on the chase. How does he do it? He wants to fight. No, he's gonna fall! He does die, 2 for 1. The stolen Doom used again. And KYXY is dead to rights.
Oh my goodness.
These supports of Tong Fu, those familiar stuns in the middle of the fight, the back onto the high ground. One more will fall. Tong Fu is striking back with a vengeance. And now Roche really should be theirs.
I just want to say that 2 deaths that Anti-Mage had this game is... He didn't need to have those 2 deaths, but...
Yeah, it hasn't been Hao's best game.
Right.
It's been a good game, though.
You saw in that engagement, he was focused by 5 heroes with Fiend's Grip, with Flaming Lasso, and he just doesn't die. What does Orange do against this?
They actually didn't get Doom off in that fight. It looks like Mushi...
It was on cooldown, I think.
Yeah, it was on cooldown for 7 seconds, and he just died before even releasing it. Now the age is going to Tong Fu. I wonder if they'll leave it for Hao, because he is the ideal candidate. Dragon Knight's not the best, but hey...
He doesn't need it.
Like you said, he doesn't need it.
So you give it to Dragon Knight, and suddenly, what do you deal with?
A big victory for Tong Fu. In Game 2, they need a win, and it looks like they're well on their way to one. Leading by 12k gold, leading by 17k experience, and one big push away from taking this game and forcing to Game 3.
So I think Orange, even though they're so far behind, there are something to fight for here. If you get multiple Scythe of Ice, and hopefully your Weaver could actually carry up with the damage output, and I'm talking about things like Desolator, Daedalus, and perhaps maybe even Divine. They need insane damage and insane amount of crowd control to take this game back. But you have Doom, which is a great farmer. You get a Scythe of Ice. You get Batrider, a great initiator. I think Orange should angle for the ultra late game. I'm talking about 40 minutes later, but they have to win or survive or dodge every single team fight up to that point.
And if you're Tong Fu, once Hao gets his next item, probably a Butterfly, maybe even before it, because by the time he has it, this Aegis will pretty much be up. They're going to go for a fight. At most, they'll wait one more Roche, and they also do have more room to grow. Your Dragon Knight can get a Satanic, he can remove his bottle, and he can go for an Assault Cuirass, he can go for a Daedalus, another big damage item. So it's not as though Tong Fu are done progressing on all their heroes. Like you said, it's got to be ultra late game, not just late game like 50, 60 minutes, but maybe even more than that. And the other thing is, when Hao gets that big and you're up against the Shadowblade Dragon Knight as well, your ability to find the farm is really limited. And in order to reach the late game, you got to find the farm.
Nice pick off here. A couple of birds goes to KYXY. They cannot defend this tower. There's a double damage rune on Mu right now.
And he's just jumping in on KYXY. Won't kill him off, but drives him off. One more outer tower falls, and Tong Fu are one big push away still. It feels like they're just about to go. They're getting more and more aggressive. You can sense their confidence building. Banana, nothing stolen now, but I just got to give this man a shout out because he has stolen everything big this game. Fiend's Grip, Doom, Sakuchi, Vendetta. You can't. Lasso's the only one he hasn't taken yet, but heck, he's almost got a Blink Dagger. This has been one of the most impressive support Rubik performances for me of the International, and it's coming in one of the biggest games yet.
Well, let's see if Tong Fu could push down for a Rex. Once they get 1 or 2 Rex, I think Orange Esports might just GG out. Here comes a Blink Dagger Doom, so I guess
This is so much.
He's got a poison creep.
This is so much better when you have Stomp, which he doesn't right now.
He's not going to get Stomp because how do you leave the base?
Mu says, come at me. He's got a DD road. He's not popping it yet. Enfeeble is in. He's not really doing much to the tower, but Hao will soon. They're waiting for the next wave. There's an Ion Shell on Hao. He's not popping Manta yet. He'll just start to siege, hanging on for now. Now, the Lincolns of KYXY broken. They blink in. Ohio wanted to lasso, but he can't. And now Banana pushing in the other way, wanted to make a jump of his own. Both teams, well, they're testing the waters. Nobody engaging yet. Familiar stuns come through. The tower really starting to tick down quickly. Mu, DD Dragon, very scary. Proceed with caution if you're orange. And Tong Fu, they'll wait for one more wave. Aegis 3 minutes to go. Are they going to leave yet? Hao may be looking at the Ancients, but no. They're going to come right back down mid. Round 2. Fight. Here we go.
Firefly out for 10 seconds. That's a big part of your base defense.
Force
staff forward. No stun just yet. He knows there's a Lincoln. Force staff here.
Great force staffs from Orange as well. Mushi leaping in. He's doomed Hao, but Hao is just not even dropping. The first one down is your Nick. They popped an array of BKBs. KYXY time-lapsing out. Orange doing everything they can to hang on. There's your Blink Dagger for Rubik. KYXY heading to the win. An Anti-Mage, sure, he can't cast spells, but he doesn't take damage. The spell shield here is really doing work. And now the tier 3 mid is falling. Tong Fu, 39 minutes in, looking to claim their first lane of Rex. Orange struggling to find any kind of response.
Yeah, they're going to have to give up this Rex. There's no way they can get too much done here, although Firefly is...
There's still an Aegis. There's no level 3 Dragon form. It is cooling down. It's so hard to fight this, though. It really is. There's no Doom. I don't think they can do it, Lumi.
They're still defending. Here comes the jump, and they're going to pull him back. He's half HP, but he's got the Aegis, so it's not really a meaningful kill. Meanwhile, you see Anti-Mage got to focus on Rex. No, he's going to back off.
BKB is cooling down. He's got a Shadow Blade up. He gets grip. Hao is here. Mono Void quickly used on that, canceling the grip. And now in comes Extinct Impale on 2. King J dropping, but Hao still at full HP. Impale was stolen. It was stolen again. What a play by Banana. Turns it around. They pick one off, but they haven't broken Orange yet. KYXY hanging on for now by a win, a hope, and a prayer. He's found a double kill. Still standing. Hao stopping a hit hunt. At long last, 3 heroes dead. They've taken the Rex. A BKB trying to keep your Dragon Knight alive. A fall. Give him a triple. KYXY making something out of nothing. All of a sudden, 1.4k gold up. He did have to buy back for this, but Orange have lost their first lane of Rex.
Oh man, that looked way harder for Tong Fu. There was too much diving for my liking to go into the base. They were chasing the Bane for too long. Anti-Mage wasn't actually focusing on the exposed Rex. He was also chasing with his friend with his friend Dragon Knight. So I think Orange Esports fought a very well-coordinated team fight. They were able to pick off and focus fire a lot of heroes. Tong Fu got to step it up, even though they're up 1 Rex. I don't think Orange Esports is giving up just yet. KYXY, you see how dangerous he can be if you leave him alone, and he definitely was left alone for far too long in that team fight.
At the same time, they're now down a lane of Rex. Roshan up in 5 minutes, and I believe this is Roche number 3, right? So that will be Aegis as well as Cheese. Maybe it's 2. But either way, they can get the next Roche. They'll have the map control for it. RNG Esports, if they want to contest, will really have to force it. The good news is Mushi has Centaur Stop now, so he's got some additional lockdown.
He doesn't have Envenom weapons or whatever that thing's called.
Yeah. Generally, I mean, you want to keep on using Devour, right? So it's on cooldown, but you want to try and eat creeps that don't have abilities, because every time you eat one, it replaces the ability you currently have.
Well,
The thing, though, is now Hao's got another item. He's about to have Butterfly or an Abyssal Blade. Up to him, and either way, his ability to push and find kills gets a lot stronger here.
Hao's about to snipe a courier, and if this courier buys anything big...
There's a ward here as well, so they really will tell.
They saw it going back.
Demon Edge. Well, KYXY probably going for an MKB here, because generally an anti-mage at this point with these items will go into a Butterfly. So Demon Edge up. I mean, there is a slight chance it could be a Rapier, but pretty unlikely.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't be bad choice. I mean, I don't see them winning any team fights without insane amount of damage output, and that could be it. We saw how long KYXY survived. At the same time, though, he did die in that team fight, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, he did have to buy back. I mean, he got the triple kill, then he lived. Meanwhile, Tong Fu smoked up. There hasn't been much item progression on anyone else as far as the Dragon Knight goes, at least. He's only sitting on a Hyperstone. He hasn't gotten Assault Cuirass yet. King J, his progression has slowed down. The Blink Dagger's been acquired. He had it earlier as well. Now an Ags for Sangsheng. It's decent, but it's not insane. They are leading by 20k gold, just under 20k experience. They're clearly in control of this game. They haven't won it just yet, though. The Butterfly is available. It can be purchased. It looks like Hao just wants his buyback first, and then he'll pick it up. And at that point, I think that's going to be the go time for Tong Fu. One more Roche, and then they go for it.
Now, Orange is definitely doing a very good job of preparing before the, I guess, what could be the final push. They're making sure that every wave is pushed out. Judging from how the last team fight went, these team fights do tend to last very long. And when those long team fights are happening, you don't want to be losing buildings to that mid-bigger creep wave. So they're pushing out everything as hard as they can and trying to buy as much time as they can. I mean, KYXY is actually successfully split pushing. If he gets that, no, he's going to TP back.
Yeah, it's just so dangerous to do this up against the Shadowblade DK, and also just being in the dark, which you can see. I mean, they've got Orange actually has good vision considering their position, not having any outer towers, but it's not great vision by any means. Tong Fu, they're the ones who know what's going on. For them, two lanes are heavily pushed towards the enemy base. The bottom lane at the base, the mid lane towards it, past the river. So they can farm safely in the enemy jungle. Hao has the Butterfly. I think he's just about got buyback as well. His reliable gold is pretty high here, so she'll be able to pick a Butterfly up and still have buyback if he needs it. The only thing he doesn't have is Boots of Travel buyback, but I think by the time the next Roche is up, he will.
Yeah, we're definitely angling for ultra late game, and let's actually check out if there's any big item progression. Mushi has picked up an Ogre Club, but then he has went back for the Blink Dagger, so I'm not sure if he's thinking about BKB. How do you feel if BKB does it do anything here?
I mean, I almost would say Ags, because I guess you could go for a Heaven's Halberd, but there's a Dragon Knight as well as an Anti-Mage. Both of them hurt a lot, so I don't know that it'll be the most effective item.
Heaven's Halberd at the same time is very similar to an Axe Scepter, right? You're just upgrading away or getting away to deal with a single target unit.
Yeah, in theory, the way that Doom's Ags works, for anyone who's wondering, is as long as you're near your target, it doesn't tick down.
Right.
So it can go forever, but the problem is, I don't think Mushi is tanky enough to just stand in the middle of the fight forever.
Yeah, and I don't think Hao cares. If he's Doom, he's going to right-click you.
Yeah, he's still going to be doing a lot of damage.
Right, and I think that really the consideration is, do you want to give an Ags Doom to Banana? Because, I don't know, man.
The way he's been playing, he's going to steal it. Now he's got Blink and Force, and when you have this level of items on a support Rubik, stealing any spell is so much easier.
And BKB could be a decent choice as well, because there is a lot of kind of burst damage. There are kind of a lot of nukes that he's dealing with. But just neither of these two items are any of your big ultra late game carry items, so I'm not too sure.
We'll have to wait and see. It's been very much a utility Doom for Mushi. It seems like their goal is for KYXY to be the primary carry. And he definitely could be if Mushi had the Aura, if he had an Assault Cuirass, and if KYXY had more items. I think maybe they could stand toe-to-toe against an Anti-Mage and a Dragon Knight, but especially if they were ahead an item or two, but they're behind. And now a smoke from RNG Sports. 45 minutes in, Roshan coming soon. Orange are looking to find a pickoff. Here we go.
Yeah, we're not counting them out yet, but there's a 20,000 goal lead, 20,000 experience lead for Tong Fu. They gotta find a beautiful pick. Roshan's back. If they find a pick, get Roshan, then we have ourselves a game. KYXY cannot die in these engagements. You gotta get the perfect initiation. But I mean, Tong Fu, they know. They will see these Troys being destroyed, and they will see a Bat Rider coming out.
Yeah, the pain's coming out from both teams, and it looks like Sangsheng, the one hero who's a bit far out, but he's got a flock of familiars scouting things out. They will be micro. Nothing going to Orange. The smoke will fail. Will they continue to fight? If they sit here for long, then the mid lane pushes in, and the tier 4s will start to take some damage. Roche now up. Invis rune for Mushi. Not going to help you too much at this point in the game. There's a gem on Sangsheng, and in they go. The Necro minion has been stolen. And now Mushi caught on the high ground. Ohio, though, lassoing move, but I don't think it's going to matter. There's a back, there's a wall. Net on the run. Now Hao leaping forward, and our Orange Esports just have nothing left. driven back, a buyback from Mushi, but Hao is unstoppable right now. Nobody can scratch him. Roche is open. Mushi buying back, but you've used Lasso. You have no position to fight this. The Aegis is going to Tong Fu. The cheese is as well, and with that, it might very well be GG.
Yeah, Mushi walking up a hill like that without too much sight. I mean, they knew the enemy team was there. His Necro Minion was stolen, so I guess he was trying to get a very offensive Doom, but at the same time, the initiation and the counter initiation for Tong Fu was just too impressive, and he dived without even popping his mech.
Yeah, that was amazing counter initiation. I mean, King J blinked in, dropped the wall in the middle of the river. He vacked 3 in. Sure, they weren't like stunned within it, and they just ran away, but it meant they couldn't fight anymore. They couldn't fight near the pit, so Roche was free for Tong Fu. And I think it's fine that, I think Mushi does need to do that. They have to get the jump on Tong Fu. If Tong Fu get off their key spells, the back, the wall, a Dragon Tail or 2, then the fight's over for Orange with the level of farm that Hao and Mu have. But, I mean, it's near the Roche pit, when Tong Fu is the map control, they're sitting on the hill, getting the right position and the initiation nearly impossible. Tong Fu is playing really well.
Yeah, they are. Well, here comes what could be the final push. Mu does have the Chi, so if there is a person perhaps you want to Doom and focus, he could be the one.
You've got a damage item on KYXY. He does have an MKB, but, well, can he actually use that in these fights? If Hao catches him, if he gets lifted or stunned, if the Lincoln Sphere is broken, it just takes 1 stun, some auto attacks from the illusions, and then a Mana Void, and he will fall.
Yeah. I mean, look at these anti-mage illusions. It's driving by like half the team of Orange Esports.
They are enfeebling illusions. I mean, that's how much damage it's already doing to the tower. Tong Fu says, we'll kill you, death by 1,000 cuts. We don't need to force a fight.
King J also have the Aegis on him, so focusing on the Darkseer is also not an option anymore. There's just too much to talk about. They want to go on anti-mage. Can you bring him down? Back wall on top of everybody. The mech goes back up here, and Orange Esports just melting.
So much destruction. Tong Fu annihilating Orange. 3 to fall. Game 2 in the books. Tong Fu have struck back, and the last hope for Chinese Dota stands. Can Tong Fu win Game 3? Orange, they look magnificent in Game 1. But Tong Fu have answered the call. We now go to a deciding Game 3.
I think the game was really decided when Mushi decided to go mech and didn't really use that mech in a very, very offensive way. But Tong Fu will take that victory, and we're going to Game 3. We'll see how well they play in Orange. Let's see if they can make that bounce back. But we'll send it back to James and the boys outside.
Welcome back to the panel. Yeah, I think Lumi said it right. Just the item choices on Doom. Okay, firstly, let's congratulate Tong Fu bringing it back to 1-1. It wouldn't be the international unless we had a tied-up game of the last game of the day. So 1-1. Tong Fu are still in the tournament and still get a chance to replay Na'Vi in the lower bracket finals. So the item choices on Doom, for me, this was what was particularly interesting, just because he didn't seem to offer as much as he felt maybe he wanted to, expected to, or at least, in my opinion, needed to.
This is actually something I've been struggling a bit with throughout the tournament. We've seen a lot of these Doombringers go for a support kind of build, and I don't really agree with it. I think Doom has the capability to farm as fast as an Alchemist almost. Why not just build something big on him? Why not aim for the stars instead of just going for a mechanism and stuff like that? We've seen, actually, Tong Fu was the team to do it the last time around with their Doombringer, and I just don't feel it's good enough for the hero's potential. I did like the Necronomicon choice after he did go into a support choice anyways, but by then it was already too late. They needed that extra DPS output.
I just don't think Doom is Mushi's type of hero. He loves playing aggressively. He's like famous on his Windrunner. He played Ursa and Sven to great effect, and then earlier in the series, and he just do cooldown dependent. Doesn't really give enough lockdown. I mean, sure he has Doom, but you really want to just change Summon Death. You don't want to have to rely on Doom to take down the Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage just got too much farm. Look at his items at the end. Battle Fury, Manta. He had Vlad for the early Roshan, Butterfly. He was just impossible to take down, along with his heart at the end. And here we see KYXY.
Yeah, Nicholas Manta style just comes off, blinks, Mantas, and picks up the Weaver there. Yeah, I have to say, the Necro, I always feel like it's a nice item, but also when you're up against a DK that's going to have Helm of the Dominator, the cooldown on Helm of the Dominator is actually less than the Necro, because you can constantly steal. And overall, you see Banana as well at the back of the team fight there with a Blink Dagger and Force Staff. He was incredible that game. And I actually felt that Mushi was like, okay, I'm going to get a Blink Dagger, either to do 2 things, mess up the Darkseer or mess up the Rubik. I felt like he could have stopped some of the counter initiation, because it's so dangerous when you're in a team fight and a Rubik picks up an Impel, because that's what Rubik is. Rubik is one of these heroes that when you come into a big team fight, he's able to just surprise you the element of surprise. You know, you don't know exactly what he's going to steal, what he's going to be capable of doing. And there were a couple of times when he just got a really good steal in terms of Doom or an Impel. It helped massively. It was a very scary hero to go against. So the Blink Dagger for me, what do you think that was meant to do? Was it just the Blink Dagger War Stomp combo, or was it?
I was just about to say that he kept on hanging on to his Centaur rather than a lot of people get crit strike on him with the Wolf instead, and he kept on hanging on to the Centaur. So it was just a mean to initiate. And again, I don't really like that way of playing Doom. It's super aggressive when he wants to blink in and stomp, but he doesn't really have any damage output to follow up with anyways. So it's like, who cares?
All right, and what was relevant for you here in the game, Bruno?
Well, we can see the difference between the first match and the second one. In the first, there was some logic to it in the sense that you had Darkseer to combo with the Pack, with the Sven. There was something happening, something going on. Game 2, it just seemed that they wanted to pick some strong heroes overall. They went for the Bad Rider and the Weaver, which were kind of the stars of the tournament. Doom, not a great hero. It's 3-8 in the main event so far, so sporting a very, very unfortunate winner. And I hate to see this hero on Mushi, a player that has such a high skill potential. You want him on a very mobile hero, on a hero that can actually make things happen, not on a melee carry that kind of dooms people and just walks around. So I think that Orange has to go back to this stronger initiation kind of lineups that they had in Game 1, and with that, go to victory.
I really don't think Doom is a bad pick. I just feel like the teams are playing him incorrectly.
You want to play him as more of a
almost
fast,
as a one if you want to.
Yeah, well,
so like International 2011, when we saw Doom in those tri-lanes, or even in
yes, please learn from Evo.
And Radiance Doom.
Well, not Radiance. I don't think Radiance is necessarily a good idea.
Okay, so I mean, really, if you have to go for a carry Doom, what are your core items?
Shadowblade into an Assault Cuirass, into a Basher. It works.
Yes, I felt as well, like if the Doom was built similar to the DK, they would have had something solid to actually stand up and at least give them a little bit more time needed. Because when you have a Bat Rider, you do have a great initiation, but unfortunately, you can't just initiate and not make something happen off that, especially against a Darkseer, because the vacuum, incredibly dangerous just overall if you just kind of zone in on one hero off a lasso, but also the Bane, very easy to kind of shut down.
Yeah, even looking at the draft, I was talking to Fog during the game, and they just didn't have enough lockdown for the anti-mage to prevent him from getting that early Battle Fury Mantis style, and that's really when you need to stop an anti-mage from farming. What do you think of the draft, Jacob?
I think they had enough lockdown. The thing is, they didn't have enough lockdown to follow up on the rest of his team. As we were saying, Banana played an amazing Rubik. King J won the Darkseer. They had to put so much effort into shutting down the Darkseer as well in most of these fights that either they let Hao get free roam, or they had to suffer the wall, or we saw amazing spell usage from Banana on the Rubik.
Yeah.
Generally, just think Tong Fu had obviously the better lineup, but also just outplayed them.
All right, so we're going to be going into Game 3 as soon as both the teams are ready. What do you want people to either change or go back to do? We've seen these guys a few times in the tournament. If you were team captain of either of the teams, what would kind of be your direction for next
Aggressive
game?
hero for Mushi. Give him Windrunner, give him TA, give him a high-impact hero that isn't ultimate dependent.
Any favorites for Mushi?
I would say TA. It doesn't work well in every lineup, though, so it really depends.
I'd like to see them either just do their aggressive pushing again and maybe give Mushi a Shadow Fiend. I'd love to see a TK. I don't think it's TA. I don't think it's gonna happen though. And then I think they should maybe consider banning the anti-mage. It's undefeated so far.
Yeah. What I think actually is we saw Orange today play Slardar. And I think it fits very, very well. KYXY Slardar against Chongfu's lineup that they like very strength, meaty heroes. And if you get the minus armor there, you get Mushi again maybe on the Shadow Fiend, as you said before. The minus armor strat, maybe even just not go for that, go for Avenge as a support player. I think the Slardar, as many weaknesses as it has, it fits perfectly against this meta game of Alchemists and Lifestealers and Dragon Knights, because lots of HP means that you're tanky, but when you have minus 20 armor, everything melts like paper.
Now, I'm also interested because I want to know a little bit about the Weaver pick as well. In terms of Weaver, earlier in the tournament has been picked a lot. Lately, Weaver hasn't been able to come through a lot of the games. Is it because of who the Weaver, the pick of the Weaver, who is kind of comboed with? It doesn't get the time. once it gets Desolator, okay, it does a little bit of damage, but it constantly needs more.
I think the main issue here, especially in this game, was the fact that Doom didn't build for a DPS build. If they do have a tank that takes all of the attention because he deals a lot of damage, and then the Weaver roams around and deals rest of the damage, that'll suffice. But just having the Weaver as the single DPS source
doesn't work.
No.
Yeah, and that was kind of the story maybe with Mushi going a little bit more supporty. All right, then we are ready to go into game number 3, and it's going to be the final map here.